Anthony Joshua has reportedly been working alongside Oleksandr Usyk, drawing on the former undisputed champion's experience as he prepares for his clash with Kristian Prenga.
We're now not here with you. We're now in Miami Beach. You know, we drink. You like coconut? Yes, you like. We drink cold coconut with ice and music. Reggae. Yeah. Long step. Long, yeah.
Anthony Joshua continues to refine his punching technique through focused heavy bag sessions, developing his power, accuracy, and combination punching. The work is aimed at keeping his timing sharp and his offense firing efficiently ahead of fight night. Joshua continues to refine his movement, focusing on footwork, balance, and precise punch mechanics. The drills are designed to improve his timing and maintain sharp, fluid technique as training camp progresses.
Composure, upper body. Good. Good. Nice composure, good. Two underneath when he leans on you, don't give him time. That's it. Right hand, left hook, right hand.
Oleksandr Usyk describes his relationship with Anthony Joshua as one built on mutual respect and friendship. He explains that opening his training camp to Joshua was simply an opportunity for both fighters to benefit from working together.
No, I'm not coach, I'm friend. Yeah, I friend. I have very professional coach, not one, more like a team. Now we with Anthony like a friends. If I can help my opponents, I help. But only if this have my opponents. For example, we speak with Anthony. Say, hey bro, I have preparation. If you can come with my camp, we training with you together. Oh, it's a good idea.
Looking beyond the physical side of training, Anthony Joshua reflects on how training with Oleksandr Usyk has shaped his outlook beyond the technical aspects of boxing. He believes the experience has reinforced the value of consistency and high standards, qualities he intends to carry into every stage of his preparation.
Training with him isn't so much about the styles, that I'm trying to now become a southpaw and mimic his style, but I can see, as I said, from a spiritual point of view, when I enter the gym, I pray a lot more. He's very prayerful, and I can pick that up from him. And I can take that anywhere. I can't take the style anywhere, because different coaches will always change the style, but prayer I can take anywhere in the world to any coach. And work ethic, you can take anywhere. So there are two things which I think really do separate him from, because it's like, he's in competitive fights, but he does pull away because of these small little consistent things he does. Is pray and works hard. He talks about discipline over motivation.
Yeah. On the other side, Pringa is approaching the fight with complete confidence against Joshua. He believes his power will ultimately prove decisive, backing himself to produce a stoppage victory rather than leave the result to the judges.
Do you expect to knock out AJ July 25th? You knock out everyone, that's what you do. When you win, you knock out.
It's not gonna go 10 rounds or 12 rounds, how it's gonna be the fight. It's not gonna go 10 rounds, the fight is gonna stop the fight.
You expect to stop it?
Yes.
Building on that mindset, Joshua is approaching the fight with the mindset of making a statement. He believes complete self-confidence and a ruthless mentality are essential for a dominant performance, and he is determined to showcase the destructive power he feels he possesses every time he steps into the ring.
Yeah, you got to take him out. You got to have the right mindset, the know-how, and have full belief in yourself. So what it is with Prenga, why I say I want to hurt him is nothing to do with him, it's just me. It's just I believe in myself and I know I can do it, and I want to prove to myself I'm a serious wrecking machine. I got dynamite in both hands and I want to punch with bad intention.
For Prenga, however, this clash represents the biggest fight of his career. He sees it as a chance to fulfill a lifelong dream, with the prospect of leaving the ring holding a championship providing all the motivation he needs.
It's a good fight for me. It's the biggest fight I see, but I think I have the dream. I need the belt to send home.
Even with those ambitions, Joshua explains that he no longer draws confidence from past achievements or setbacks. Instead, he approaches every training camp with the urgency of a contender still chasing greatness, believing that mentality is essential if he wants to accomplish everything he has set out to achieve.
These fights are never easy.
But that's why I got to work like I am a target now. I can't just work in an ordinary capacity and live off of my past achievements, live off my past failures. It's all done. Start fresh. Work as if you're the hunt, like you're being hunted. Work as if you're the hunter. Work as if you want it all. Like I want it all. I want fury. That's the mindset. I don't care about what I've done and I'm only focusing on this guy because I don't want a distraction. I fucking want it all. Bring me everything.
Despite Joshua's confidence, Prenga recognizes Joshua as an elite heavyweight but remains convinced he is beatable. He believes Joshua has vulnerabilities that can be exploited and is confident he can capitalize on them when the openings come.
I don't think so is the best heavyweight in the world, but he's a great fighter.
Do you feel like there are now a lot of holes in his game that you can exploit? Do you feel like he makes a lot more mistakes that you can take advantage of?
He's a great fighter, but I think he have a lot of flaws.
Looking at the matchup differently, Peter Fury sees little danger for Joshua against Prenga. He expects Joshua to begin patiently, using the opening rounds to assess his opponent before taking control of the contest. Fury believes the gap in boxing experience and Joshua's punching power will eventually become the decisive factors, making a stoppage victory the most likely outcome.
Do you see Prenga as any kind of banana skin for AJ then, or not?
No. I think with his background, and I know what it is working with kickboxers, and we've got an elite level kickboxer, and how hard it's been to transfer him into boxing. I just don't think he's going to pose much of a threat for AJ, to be honest. I think he'll have a look at him. I think he'll get behind his boxing, he'll have a look, but unfortunately, I think he'll present his chin a little bit too quick.
Right.
And somebody with AJ's power, he's got destructive power, so as soon as that shot lands, it's over.
As the debate continues, Johnny Nelson and Paul Smith believe the biggest challenge facing Joshua extends beyond his physical abilities. They argue that maturity, urgency, and mental resilience will play a defining role as he enters the latter stage of his career. In their view, how Joshua responds under pressure remains one of the biggest questions surrounding him.
That's not important. This is now important. And also time. There's not long left. There's not much shelf life left.
And when he's talking about fighting, I think Eddie at one point said, we've got a good, this might be the last 2026. He's saying 3 or 4 more fights. He's got to say that because if the day you admit, you're out, you're done. You're done. The day so he's got to talk like that. These boys have got 1, if not 2 more fights left in them. And that's it. And the where AJ is at the moment, AJ I still see the vulnerability in the way he talks, in the way, and he's talking.
But he talks more now about the fact he's mentally solid and physically solid.
I don't believe him.
At the same time, Johnny Nelson questions whether Joshua is projecting the authority expected of a former heavyweight champion. He believes elite fighters must establish confidence long before the opening bell, arguing that hesitation can hand an opponent a psychological advantage. In Nelson's view, Joshua needs to approach every challenge with complete conviction if he wants to reassert himself at the top.
When you look at this fight, what's your takeaway from what Anthony's saying, and how do you view the Fury fights?
Well, it was a wrong answer straight away when he was asked about the Tyson Fury, how he'd approached the fight. I mean, you could start thinking, I wouldn't have answered that like that. Answered it directly. I'd have kicked his ass. I'd have X, Y, Z. No, it's not about Tyson. It's about me. What I'm going to do. No, you get in there. You bark at him and make him think, I've got to deal with this here. I didn't like. That didn't fill me with confidence, that answer. And it talks cheap, but that tells me, and I'm thinking, you are still questioning yourself. I wasn't sold by it. No.
Continuing the discussion, Carl Frock believes too much attention is being placed on Prenga's knockout record. He argues that Joshua's priority should be using the contest to sharpen his form and rebuild momentum, rather than focusing solely on the opponent's resume. In Frock's view, getting valuable rounds and a successful return is what matters most.
He's a little bit of an unknown quantity, Prenga, even though he's, like you say, if you look at his career, he's not fought anybody. He's got 20 knockouts in 20 wins. So he looks like he's a puncher, but who's he punching? You know what I mean?
I think everyone's missing the point purely about this.
But AJ can go in there and get a few rounds, go through the motions, see how he feels in training camp. He's still got to do a training camp. Still got to get through all the camp.
From another perspective, Tony Bellew believes Joshua's toughest examination will come during training camp rather than in the ring against Prenga. He argues that camp will reveal whether Joshua can still withstand the physical demands and intensity required at the elite level. For Bellew, those behind-the-scenes tests will provide the clearest indication of where Joshua truly stands.
How are you going to respond when I've got 3 sparring partners sparring 12 rounds again, and I'm telling them, knock him down, you've got X amount. They need to see what's in the tank with Josh. They need to see where he's at here, because they're going to try and put him through hell in the camp. They all know on paper, but this fight with this Prenga guy, it's irrelevant. It's not even a question. It's what goes on in that camp that's the Usyk's team will see. And that's where all the answers will be done there.
Moreover, Johnny Nelson sees Joshua's willingness to train under a new setup as an encouraging sign for his future. He believes stepping into a different camp has challenged Joshua to become more adaptable and receptive to fresh ideas. For Nelson, that change in attitude is just as important as any technical adjustment and could play a key role in Joshua's continued development.
It was a surprise, but it's very humbling and best thing he could do. Best thing he could do, because he needed to be in a position. I heard a story once that he went to, I don't know if it's true or not. I heard a story once he was in Canelo's gym, and Canelo asked if he wanted to spar. And AJ said, no, I'm all right. And he got in the van, he kicked off saying, how can this man, you know, because so when AJ trained, he's going to train, he's going to know his way, which is why I've moved from trainer to trainer. He's gone to Usyk's gym, he's had to show respect, he's had to humble himself and had to think, right, I've got to do it this way, I've got to listen to you. So now finally, he's listening to somebody thinking, yes, the only time he had that respect was with Rob McCracken.
Meanwhile, Timothy Bradley expects Joshua to handle the assignment, but warns against underestimating Prenga. While he believes Joshua's experience should prove decisive, he also points out that unpredictable challengers can become dangerous if they compete without pressure or hesitation.
You know, this dude is a 2-time world champion in kickboxing that, you know, Anthony Joshua's facing. He got ring awareness. Got some skill, you know, but don't have the experience. I feel don't have the experience, especially for a guy like, you know, Anthony Joshua. Or he shouldn't, or he could surprise us. Could surprise us because for some apparent reason, man. You know, these guys, they don't get up for these names, especially older guys in the sport. Older guys in the sport like Anthony Joshua that have been around for a long time, they need to have, they got to feel nervous. You know, they got to feel nervous, and if they don't feel nervous, they're going to have ass do that.
Furthermore, Timothy Bradley believes a victory alone will not be enough to satisfy expectations. He argues that Joshua needs a commanding performance that reminds everyone of his finishing ability, believing a statement win would build significant momentum ahead of the division's biggest challenges.
You know, I expect AJ to go in there and do the same thing. Yeah, we want a body, AJ. Yeah, for sure. And if you don't, it's not gonna make the Fury fight any more better. It's not gonna make it any more better. Because Fury was supposed to give us that, and he didn't give us that. And then if you go in there and you lay an egg, and you don't give us what we're supposed to get, I don't really care about the Fury fight, to be honest with you. Give us something to get excited about, man.
From another perspective, Keith Sullivan believes the biggest challenge for Joshua may be handling the weight of expectation. He argues that Joshua enters under intense scrutiny, with far more riding on the outcome than his opponent. In Sullivan's view, that pressure could influence the contest just as much as the styles inside the ring.
But when you look at the caliber of fights that AJ has been taking, he has not been taking equal par caliber fights. He's taking a step below, and I understand there's levels to this, and we get that. You know, one of the biggest things in this sport, and Spencer, you could speak to this more than anybody, is the mindset. KP is coming in with a win-win mindset. He has absolutely nothing to lose. Everything is on the line for AJ. His legacy, his boxing career. If he loses this fight, it's over. finished. His career is done, and he loses out on millions of marketing and sponsorship. There's a lot of pressure on AJ here. This is the right time.
Even with those expectations, Keith Sullivan remains convinced his fighter has a genuine chance of producing a major upset. He identifies Prenga's punching power as the equalizer, believing it only takes one well-timed shot to disrupt Joshua's rhythm. If Joshua is forced out of his comfort zone, Sullivan believes the momentum of the fight could quickly shift in Prenga's favor.
KP, Kristian Prenga, understands the odds against him. He understands the doubt that's been placed on him. But he has absolutely no fear, tremendous confidence that he can win this fight. Kristian is a very heavy-handed puncher. I brought in some of the top sparring partners that we've been able to get our hands on. They have called me up and been amazed at how heavy-handed and what a hard puncher he is and how much of a beating they've been taking in sparring. So we don't need 12 rounds. We don't need 1,000 punches. We just need 1 or 2 good punches on AJ's jaw to get him uncomfortable. And we've seen it time and time again. When he gets hit in the right spot, he gets out of his comfort zone and loses control. And once we get him to that place, KP can step in and take over the fight.
If Joshua delivers the type of performance many expect, attention could quickly shift toward a long-awaited heavyweight blockbuster. Carl Frock questions the value of the opponents being discussed for Joshua and Fury. He argues that straightforward victories would do little to answer the biggest questions surrounding either fighter at this stage of their careers. Frock believes more competitive tune-up fights would provide a clearer indication of where both heavyweights stand before a long-awaited showdown.
These two fights are really just insignificant in terms of their career. They're both going to win. It's easy wins. It would have been nice actually to see either of these two or both of them fight of a level where you're sort of testing yourself a little bit. I know it's risky because if they get caught or they get injured or they get bloody beat, which could happen. Let's not forget we don't know what's left of Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury's slowing down loads. This is why I've said this fight's well past its best, but it's still a spectacle. We do still want to see it. But these two guys are fighting nobodies. It would have been nice to see him in there with an Andy Ruiz. When it's Tyson Fury making a statement against Andy Ruiz, or somebody like Dylan White or Jerome Miller. You know, if these two fighters, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, would have actually taken a bit of a name, just to make you think, oh, that's interesting. Oh, let's see what sort of a job he makes of them. But they're in against nobodies. It's going to just be a foregone conclusion what happens. 2 wins, 2 easy wins, and no one really cares what happens in the fight or how the fight goes. All they care about is Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury.
Looking ahead to a potential Joshua-Fury matchup, David Coldwell believes the biggest uncertainty is how much each fighter still has left. He suggests Fury may no longer possess the same mobility that once defined his style, while Joshua's current level remains equally difficult to measure. For Coldwell, those unanswered questions make the fight so compelling, as the outcome could ultimately depend on which former champion has preserved more of his prime qualities.
I think right now, I would say that I don't think Fury's got the same legs as what he had. I think that might be a big factor in the fight. But then Fury, we know, could get under Joshua's skin. We just don't. I don't know. That's what makes his fight great. When they were at the peak, you had people that thought AJ would win, you had people that thought Fury would win. As they started, not so much at the peak, again, swap sides and minds were changed. And now at this stage of your career, it's really a case of like, if you're not in the camps and you're not diehard fans of each, then it's one of those where it's like, who's got what left? I don't know.
Building on that uncertainty, Gareth A. Davies believes the fight will come down to which version of each heavyweight enters the ring. While he acknowledges the uncertainty surrounding both men, he insists Joshua's determination has never been in doubt, pointing to his willingness to keep fighting even under heavy pressure. Davies believes that resilience is one of the key reasons the long-awaited showdown remains so compelling despite both fighters being beyond their peak.
Who's got the most left, and what version are they when they step in with each other? And rounding all this off, the best AJ for me was the guy that, and he still is the best AJ, the AJ that goes in there, even the AJ that was fighting back against Dubois at the end. I don't agree with all those people. I agree with Ben Davison that it was time to throw the dice against Dubois because he was getting dismantled. That AJ, the one thing I'll say about AJ, there's no quitting him. You got to stop him. Whatever anyone says about his heart, if you do not say that man has an extraordinary heart, they're wrong. They might say he's a busted flush in terms of his chin at times, but when he goes in there, he goes in to give everything. And that's why we've got to see these two men in the ring. And I think It's got to be this year.
As Anthony Joshua's preparations continue behind closed doors, the focus now shifts to whether the work he's putting in will translate into a convincing performance against Kristian Prenga, with reports of elite sparring partners, including Oleksandr Usyk, helping sharpen his skills. Expectations will be high when Joshua steps back into the ring. What do you think? Will Anthony Joshua make a statement against Kristian Prenga, and could this performance set up another major heavyweight showdown? Let us know your prediction in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing news and fight updates.